Hello and welcome to Newsform. I'm your host Chris with the CHRILLCAST, and today we're going to be talking about, you guessed it, the topic that didn't win the poll on Tuesday. So here we go. Make sure you guys subscribe, comment down below, and like this video. Oh, man, we're not in the community tab yet. Here we go. Oh, and shout out to Nerd Talk. Want your name translated to Japanese? Comment on this post we shared. All right. So, second place for the poll yesterday, as you remember, is PlayStation Future. Can it survive a world with Game Pass? Well, according to Michael Pachter, PlayStation will not exist in 10 years. A prominent industry analyst has claimed the PlayStation brand will cease to exist in the next 10 years. In the past few months, we have witnessed both the console giants going all out on surpassing each other. Last year, Microsoft acquired Bethesda, and Sony followed up with the acquisition of Bluepoint and Housemarque Games. Back then, it seemed like quite a lot, and we were excited to see what they had to offer. However, things picked up even more earlier this year as Microsoft announced its massive acquisition of Activision. While everyone was processing this, another surprise came in the form of Sony's acquisition of Bungie. Competition between Sony and Microsoft seems to be more fierce than ever, and fans are wondering if one brand will end up having the last laugh. Michael Pachter, who's been famously wrong about a lot of his predictions, including the, well, we're not going to talk about that. Look it up yourself, find out what console he predicted was going to do very well, that it looks like it's in turmoil right now. According to popular industry analyst at Wedbush Securities, Michael Pachter, things might turn out to be quite ugly for PlayStation in the upcoming days. When asked about how Sony will compete against Xbox GamePass during the RDX podcast via Reset Era, I'm not going to say that I trust that because this is a major news website and half the time their predictions are in the interest of something else. He states that PlayStation is doomed and will pretty much cease to exist in the upcoming 10 years. He further adds that this is due to the fact that Sony isn't just a couple of years behind, but Xbox has gained an insurmountable lead instead. Pachter has been quite outspoken with his opinions in the past and made some bold claims. A couple of years ago, he wanted to say the Nintendo Switch doesn't make sense, and the Lite version should be pushed more by Nintendo. As we all know, the Nintendo Switch recently became Nintendo's best-selling home console ever, although it still remains behind their best-selling handheld, the DS. Will PlayStation actually cease to exist in the next 10 years? In all probability, no. Microsoft might have completely nailed Xbox Game Pass, but we are yet to see any first-party exclusives from Microsoft that rivals the likes of what Sony has been releasing in the past few years. The likes of Horizon, God of War, and Spider-Man might be big enough, or might have a big enough fan base to keep the ecosystem popular enough to give Microsoft a fight, unless of course Sony loses its Midas touch. Okay. So let's just talk about this. Industry analysts make predictions all the time. Sometimes you have to question whether the speculation and or predictions are fueled by where they want the market to be as opposed to where the market is going. So let's just think about this for a second. If console manufacturers, stockholders, etc. want the all-digital future, why would that be? Well, for one, you don't have to sell individual games. So if you have Game Pass, you sell people on the games on Game Pass. You don't have to sell people on a specific game. You just have to sell them on the games on the service. Whereas when you sell games individually like PlayStation, each game has to stand on its own merit. And so each game has to prove it is worth whatever you're charging for, whether that's $60 or $70. PlayStation continues to be successful with this strategy. And lots of people prefer the a la carte choice when they purchase games, like especially older gamers who like the idea of physical media versus digital sales. Now, the reason why the industry likes going to digital services like Game Pass and digital sales, like controlling the entire market on their service, is a highly lucrative business. They look and see the App Store on iOS. They see that giant cut Apple takes from every sale, and they want into that market where they have a controlled, walled garden with which to make all of the business. Now, as far as services goes, services are guaranteed money each month. So as a business, guaranteed money is always better than predictable money, or money that you essentially have to project. So when a new release comes out, you have up and down with this game sells this much on release, and then it sells more in the next month, and then it trails down off, versus you have a service like Game Pass, and that's guaranteed money every month by every single member. Guaranteed money is always better. So when I see industry analysts predicting that Game Pass will be the end of PlayStation, all I can think about is, well, yeah, the industry wants gaming services, and telling PlayStation they're going to go down the tubes without one is trying to prod PlayStation into the market of games as a service. That's what, I'm sorry, streaming service or game services like Game Pass. So I think this isn't necessarily a good prediction. I think it's more of something you're going to see more often. The industry is trying to prod PlayStation into the services like Game Pass. They want them to move there because it's guaranteed money. Whereas PlayStation tends to do very well just selling us new games, new blockbuster hits. And that's what they seem to be focusing on. Nintendo has even moved into the service category with their Nintendo Switch Online service that gives you a library of old games with nostalgia infused, right? I mean, Nintendo has one of the most nostalgic histories of any gaming company. So do I think this prediction makes any sense? No. I think PlayStation has no problem surviving past 10 years. I mean, provided they don't make a major mistake like the DRM fiasco of the Xbox One. But the fact that the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 disc version are the sought-after versions of the consoles shows me that there is still a lot of people who do not prefer this digital and service future. So there's always going to be a market for PlayStation consoles, especially if they keep the disc drive in and don't take that out long term. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it. What do you guys think? Can PlayStation compete with Game Pass? I mean, they did enter the market first with PlayStation Now, which was essentially xCloud for consoles, before Microsoft had even entered Game Pass and xCloud as a business practice. So what do you guys think? Comment down below your thoughts, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys.